Hello, my dear friend. I'm so happy you are here with me today. My name is Anna, and this is the VUS Learning English podcast. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. It is always a joy to have you with us. Thank you for coming back. If this is your first time here, a very special welcome to you. I am so glad you found our little corner of the world. This is a safe place. This is a warm place. This is a place for you to learn English. But it is also a place to feel good, to feel calm, to feel hopeful. So find a comfortable place. Maybe you are sitting on a soft chair. Maybe you are walking in a beautiful park. Maybe you are in your car driving to work. Wherever you are, take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Let's begin. Today we are going to talk about something very important. We will talk about how to learn English with a podcast. Maybe you are already doing this. Maybe you listen to English podcasts every day. That is wonderful. But maybe you feel a little stuck. Maybe you listen, but you do not feel fluent. You do not feel confident. Today, I will show you a new way, a better way, a kinder way to learn. I want to thank you. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. Your time is precious, and I am honored to be with you. Before we start, I have a small, gentle invitation for you. If you enjoy our time together today, please think about subscribing to this channel. When you subscribe, you help our podcast grow. It helps us reach more English learners just like you, all around the world. It is a simple click for you, but it means the world to me. Thank you. And I have a question for you. Where are you listening from today? I love to imagine where you are. Are you in Vietnam or Japan or Brazil or Spain? Maybe you are in a big city or a small town or in the countryside. Please tell me in the comments. It makes me so happy to read where our friends are. All right, are you ready? Let's talk about learning English. Let's talk about your amazing journey. Let's be honest for a moment. You are probably listening to English podcasts. Maybe you listen every single day. You put your headphones on, you listen on the bus, you listen at the gym, you listen while you cook dinner. People say immersion is the key. They say, just listen to a lot of English. They say the language will just sink in, like magic. And yet, are you fluent? Do you feel fluent? Maybe not. Maybe you still feel nervous when someone asks you a question in English. Maybe you freeze. Your mind goes blank. Maybe you still have trouble finding the right words. The words are in your head somewhere, but they don't come out. And maybe you feel stuck. Frustrated? Sad? Maybe you feel a little bit silly. You spend hundreds of hours listening, but you do not see the result you want. My dear friend, I want to tell you something very important. You are not alone. And it is not your fault. The problem is not what you are listening to. The problem is how you are listening. But I have also found the solution. I have a special method, a method that I have made better and better over many years. Today, I am going to show you this method. It is a step-by-step method. It will change your passive listening into active learning. It will help you find your confident English voice. So please stay with me. The way you learn English is about to change for the better. Let's talk more about that feeling, the feeling of being stuck. It is a very specific kind of sadness, isn't it? You listen to a podcast episode, you understand almost everything. You nod your head. You say, "Yes, I understand." You might even laugh at the jokes. But then, the moment you need to speak, it feels like a big wall goes up in your mind. A big, tall wall. The words you just heard, the beautiful phrases that made perfect sense, they all disappear. They are gone. And you are left searching for words. You stammer, you say and and you use the same simple sentences, the same sentences you used 6 months ago, the same sentences you used last year. This is a real thing. Many learners call it the intermediate plateau. A plateau is a high, flat land. You climb, and then you are on this flat part. You are not going up anymore. You are just walking, stuck. It is the most difficult part of learning a language because you know so much. Your brain is full of English, but you feel like you can't use it. It feels like your brain is a big library, a beautiful library full of amazing books, but you are not allowed to open them. The doors are locked. You have the key, but you cannot find it. You are working hard. You are putting in the time, but your speaking skill is not changing. The needle is not moving. And this feels bad. It is demoralizing. That means it makes you lose hope. It can make you ask yourself, am I good enough? Can I really become fluent? Is it possible for me? Let me tell you something. Let me be very, very clear. You are capable. You are smart enough. You are dedicated enough. The problem has never, ever been you. The problem is the method, the way you are learning. You have been told a half-truth. The half-truth is immersion works, and yes, it does work, but only when it is the right kind of immersion. The kind of listening you have been doing is called passive listening. Passive listening is like watching a workout video on YouTube and expecting to get strong muscles. Imagine you can watch 1,000 hours of fitness videos. You can learn the names of all the exercises. Bicep curl, squat, lunge. You can understand the theory. You know why exercise is good for the body. But until you actually pick up the weights yourself, until you actually do the squat yourself, your body will not change. Nothing will happen. Language is exactly the same. Exactly. Listening is not a spectator sport. You cannot just watch from the side. You have to play the game. It must be an active, full contact engagement with English. You must touch the language, hold the language, use the language. Now, let's do something fun. Let's imagine the future. Let's imagine the promised land. What does your English dream look like? Close your eyes for a moment if you can. Imagine you are walking into a meeting at work. Your colleagues are there, your boss is there, they are all speaking English, and you feel calm, you feel confident. You have an idea, a wonderful, complex idea, and you share it. You express your idea clearly, not just simple ideas, but your deep, interesting, nuanced opinions, and everyone understands you. They nod. They are impressed. How does that feel? Now, imagine something else. Imagine a friend from America is telling you a story. They are speaking fast. The story is complicated. And you don't just understand it. You laugh at the funny parts. You feel the sad parts. And when they finish, you can tell a story of your own in return, a story from your life. Imagine that feeling, the feeling of freedom, the feeling of your real personality, your funny, smart, kind personality finally coming out in English. This is not a dream. This is not a fantasy. This is the direct result of changing your method. It is possible. It is possible for you. I have created a system that I have made better and better. It changes passive listening from a hobby. a hobby that only feels productive into an active learning system. A system that gives you real results, results you can see and feel. In this episode, I'm not going to give you a few small tips. I am going to give you that exact system, my complete system. Together, you and I, we are going to break down that wall. The wall between understanding English and speaking English. We are going to turn your podcast listening into your number one most powerful learning tool. This is the moment we stop watching the workout video and we start building your linguistic muscles, your English muscles. Let's begin. Section 1. The big myth of just listening. So before we learn the how, we need to understand the why. Why is this happening? Why can you listen for 500 hours and still not feel confident to order a coffee? The answer is in your amazing brain. Your brain is built for one thing: efficiency. Your brain is an efficiency machine. It is designed to save energy. It filters out noise. It only focuses on what is important for the task you are doing right now. Think about this. When you are driving your car, are you actively thinking about the sound of the engine? Are you listening to the sound of the tires on the road? No, of course not. Your brain filters it all out. It becomes background noise. Your brain does this so you can focus on the important task, driving safely, not crashing the car. The sounds are there, your ears are hearing them, but your brain is not processing them. It is not learning from them. This is exactly what happens with passive listening. If you are washing the dishes, if you are running on a treadmill, if you are scrolling on your phone, and an English podcast is playing in your ears, your brain's main task is not the English. The main task is the dishes, or the running, or the scrolling. The English audio becomes background noise. It is like wallpaper for your ears, linguistic wallpaper. It is there in the background, but you are not really looking at it. You might hear a word. You might catch a phrase. But you are not doing the deep, focused work that your brain needs for learning. The English is going in one ear and out the other. This is why the advice, just immerse yourself, can be a problem. It is not the full story. It is misleading. True immersion is not just about being surrounded by a language. True immersion is about interaction. It is about active engagement. A person can live in America for 20 years and never learn English. This is true. I have seen it. Why? Because they do not actively engage with the language. They live in a small community that speaks their native language. They watch TV in their native language. They do not interact. True immersion is a loop, a focused loop of input listening and reading, and output speaking and writing, input and output. Listen and speak. Read and write. This is the loop of learning. I like to use an analogy. An analogy is a simple story to explain a big idea. Let's use the analogy of building a house. Learning a language is like building a house where you can live, a house where you feel comfortable, a house where you can be yourself. This house is your English fluency. Passive listening is like driving your car around a beautiful neighborhood. You're just looking at the finished houses. You drive slowly. You look out the window. You say, "Oh, that's a beautiful house." Or, "Wow, I really like those big windows." Or, "That blue door is very nice." You get a general idea of what houses look like. You see many styles. You see many colors. But let me ask you a question. After 1,000 hours of only looking at houses, could you build one? Could you buy the land and lay the foundation? Could you build the frame for the walls? Could you install the windows? Of course not. It is impossible. You have zero practical skill. You have only been a spectator, a person who watches. This is what most English learners are doing. They are spectators. They are admiring the finished houses, the beautiful finished houses of native speakers. They listen to them talk and think, wow, their English is so beautiful. But they never learn how to pick up a hammer. They never learn how to use the tools themselves. I remember a student of mine. Let's call him Marco. This is a true story. Marco was a podcast junkie. He loved podcasts. He listened to 4 hours of English podcasts every single day. Every day. On his way to work, at work, on his way home. His listening skill was incredible. His comprehension was amazing. He could understand everything. He could understand complex debates about politics. He could understand podcasts about science and history. You name it, he could understand it. But when he came to my conversation class, he could barely speak. He could not string a simple sentence together. He was so frustrated. He was trapped inside his own head. It was like his brain was a giant library, the biggest library in the world, full of wonderful books. But he had lost the key to the door. He could not get inside. He had spent years collecting materials to build his house. He had piles and piles of bricks vocabulary. He had stacks and stacks of wood phrases. He had beautiful windows and doors grammar. But all these materials were just lying in a giant, messy pile in his mind. He had no idea how to put them together. He did not know how to assemble them into a house. He needed a plan. He needed a blueprint. Marco's life changed at that moment. His transformation began when he stopped being a passive consumer. He stopped just taking, and he started being an active builder. He did not need to listen more. 4 hours a day was already a lot. He needed to listen differently. He needed a blueprint. And that is what I'm going to give you right now. I am going to give you the blueprint. The myth of passive listening ends today. Right now. Your new career as a linguistic architect, a language house builder begins right now. Section 2. The foundation. The 5-step active learning method. All right. Welcome to the worksite. Welcome to your construction zone. This is the most important part of our time together. This is the core of our session. What I'm about to share with you is a 5-step system. It is a repeatable system. You can do it again and again. This system will turn a single short podcast episode, maybe just 10 or 15 minutes long, into a 90-minute high-intensity learning workout. This is the blueprint. This is the plan that Marco used to finally build his beautiful house of fluency. Each step has a special purpose, and the magic is in doing them in order, in the right sequence. Please do not skip them. Each step builds on the one before it. Are you ready? Let's get to work. Step 1, the curiosity. First listen. Okay, here is step 1. I call it the curiosity. First listen. The very first time you listen to a podcast episode, your goal is not to understand every single word. Let me say that again. You do not need to understand everything. Your only job is to be curious. Your only job is to get the lay of the land. This means you just want to get a general idea, a big picture. How to do it. It is very simple. Put your pen down, close your notebook, turn off your phone notifications. Just listen. Listen from the beginning to the end. Do not pause. Do not rewind. Just let the words flow over you. As you listen, ask yourself 3 very simple questions. You can think them in your head. Question 1. What is the general topic? Is it about food, travel, work? Question 2. What is the main idea or message? What is the most important thing the speaker wants to say? Question 3. What is the overall tone? How does the speaker sound? Is it a serious talk? Is it a funny story? Is it a formal presentation or a casual chat between friends? That's it. Just listen and be curious. Why it works. Why is this step so important? Because this is your reconnaissance mission. It's like you are a spy exploring a new place. You are just looking around. This step trains your brain for real-world listening. When you talk to a native speaker in real life, there is no pause button. There is no rewind button. You have to learn to understand the main idea of a conversation, even when you miss some words or details. This first listen builds that exact skill. It makes you comfortable with not knowing everything, and that is a very important feeling to have. It is okay not to know everything. This step also prepares your brain for learning. It primes your brain. By getting the big picture first, you create a mental framework. You build a mental shelf. The next time you listen, your brain already has a place to put the new information. It has hooks to hang the new details on. The podcast is no longer just a wall of noise. It is a story that you already know a little about. And now you are ready to understand it more deeply. This is a gentle start. It is a warm-up for your brain. Step 2, the detective. Second listen. Okay, you have done step 1. You have the lay of the land. Now it's time for step 2, the detective second listen. Now it is time to get out your tools. You are no longer a spy. You are a detective, a language detective. And the pause button is your best friend. How to do it. You will listen to the same episode again, but this time you need a notebook and a pen, or you can use a document on your computer. Your mission is to hunt for treasure. You are a linguistic treasure hunter. You will look for 4 types of treasure. Listen to the podcast sentence by sentence, or even phrase by phrase. When you hear a piece of treasure, press pause and write it down in your notebook. Here are the 4 types of treasure to look for. Treasure 1. New vocabulary and context. Do not just write down a single word. This is very important. Always write down the entire phrase or sentence where you heard the word. For example, you hear the word versatile. Do not just write versatile. That is not very helpful. Instead, write the whole sentence. This software is very versatile. You can use it for many different things. This is so much better. Context is everything. Let's try another one. Maybe you hear exhausted. Don't just write exhausted. Write, after working for 12 hours, I felt completely exhausted. Now you know how to use it. Treasure 2, interesting collocations. Phrases. Collocations are words that go together naturally. Native speakers use them all the time without thinking. They are the building blocks of sounding natural. For example, make a decision, not do a decision. Heavy rain, not strong rain. Take a photo, not make a photo. These are collocations. You should also look for phrases or idioms like at the end of the day, or to make a long story short, or a double-edged sword. These phrases are pure gold for your fluency. Write them down. Treasure 3, pronunciation puzzles. This is for your ears and your mouth. As you listen, make a note of any words that are difficult to pronounce. Or maybe a word sounds very different from how you expected it to sound. For example, the word island. The S is silent. Maybe you always said island, but you hear the speaker say island. Write it down. This is a puzzle you have solved. Or maybe you hear the word vegetable. You see 4 syllables, vegetable, but you hear the speaker say it with 3, vegetable. This is a pronunciation puzzle. Make a note of it. Treasure. 4. Grammar in the wild. This is like seeing an animal in nature, not in a zoo. You are looking for grammar as it is really used. Maybe you hear a sentence with a grammar structure that is new to you. Or maybe it's a grammar point you studied in a book, but you have never heard it in real life. Write the whole sentence down. For example, you might hear, "If I had known you were coming, I would have baked a cake." This is the 3rd conditional. Maybe you studied it, but hearing it in a real podcast makes it real. Capture that real-world example. Write it down in your notebook. Why it works. This step, the detective listen, is where you collect your building materials. You are gathering your bricks, your wood, and your windows. The physical act of pausing and writing is so powerful. It engages your brain on a much deeper level than just listening. You are telling your brain, hey, pay attention. This is important. You are moving from the big picture, step 1, to the tiny, important details. And by writing words in their full sentences, you learn how they are used. This is 1,000 times more valuable than a list of single words with translations. You are not just learning words, you are learning how to build sentences. Step 3, the Parrot Phase. Shadowing for fluency. Okay, detective, you have done great work. You have collected your linguistic treasures. Your notebook is full of wonderful new language. Now it is time for step 3. I call this the Parrot Phase. A parrot is a bird that copies what it hears. This technique is also called shadowing. This step is all about the physical part of speaking. Yes, speaking is a physical act. It uses muscles in your tongue, your lips, and your jaw. Shadowing is the gym for your mouth muscles. How to do it. For this step, you only need a short part of the podcast. Maybe just 30 to 60 seconds is perfect. Choose a part where the speaker is clear. And if you have a transcript, it will be a huge help. Here's what you do step by step. 1. Listen to the first sentence or phrase, just a small chunk. 2. Pause the audio. 3. Immediately repeat the phrase out loud. And here's the secret. Do not just say the words. Try to copy the speaker exactly. You are an actor. Copy the music of the language, the rhythm. Is it fast or slow? The intonation. Does the voice go up or down? The stress, which words are loud and which are quiet. 4. After you repeat it, rewind the audio. 5. Listen to the original sentence again. 6. And then repeat it yourself again. Do this many times for a single sentence. Maybe 5 times, maybe 10 times. Repeat it until you feel you are getting closer and closer to the original speaker's sound. It might feel strange at first. That is okay. Why it works. Shadowing is maybe the most powerful technique for improving your pronunciation and your flow. It builds a direct, super strong connection between your listening ear and your speaking mouth. You are creating muscle memory in your mouth. It's like your mouth is learning to speak English by itself. It is the same way a musician learns to play a song on the piano. They don't play the whole song at once. They practice one small part, phrase by phrase, again and again and again, until their fingers can play it automatically without thinking. This step, the Parrot Phase, can change your speaking. It can transform your speech from sounding robotic and flat to sounding natural and musical. It is an amazing technique. Please do not skip it. Step 4, the architect. Phase deconstruction reconstruction. You are doing amazing. We are on step 4. You have gathered your materials. Step 2, you have practiced the physical skills, step 3. Now you become the architect, the house builder. You need to understand how your materials work. And then you need to use them to create something new, something that is yours. How to do it? Go back to your notebook. Look at the treasures you found in step 2. Your new vocabulary, phrases, and grammar sentences. This step has 2 parts, deconstruction and reconstruction. Part 1, deconstruction. Deconstruction means to take something apart to understand it. For each new word or phrase in your notebook, you need to understand it completely. Use a dictionary. A good learner's dictionary is best. Or you can use other online tools. Find the definition. If it is an idiom, what is its special meaning? Look at the example sentences in the dictionary. Really understand your new word. Part 2, reconstruction. Reconstruction means to build something new. This is the most important part of the whole system. For each new word or phrase from your list, you must create your own original sentence. And here's the key. The sentence must be true for you. It must be relevant to your life. It must be personal. Let's go back to our example word, versatile. Don't just write a boring sentence like, the jacket is versatile. That is not personal. You will forget it. Instead, make it about your life. Maybe you can write, I need to buy a versatile jacket that I can wear in the fall and also in the winter. Or, my friend is a very versatile musician. He can play the guitar, the piano, and the drums. Do you see the difference? Personalizing the language creates a very strong link in your brain. It makes the language much, much more memorable because it connects to your life, your feelings, your memories. You can even try to write a very short story. Try to connect a few of your new words together in a story about your day. This is you being an architect. You are designing and building with your new language. Why it works. This step is where true deep learning happens. It is where you take ownership of the language. The language is not just the podcast speaker's language anymore. It is your language now. You are no longer just looking at the bricks. You are learning how to lay the bricks yourself. You are learning how to build your own wall. Any student can memorize a list of words, but fluent speakers can use those words correctly in new situations, in their own life. This step builds that bridge from knowing a word to using a word. Step 5, the Town Crier Phase. Recall and use. We have arrived at the final step. Step 5. This step is so important, but it is the step that most learners skip. Please do not skip this step. I call this the Town Crier Phase. A town crier in old times was a person who walked around the town and shouted the news. They shared information with everyone. They used their voice. This step is about using what you have learned. You have built a small structure. You have laid some bricks. But if you just build it and walk away, it will fall down. The rain and wind will wash it away. To make your new language skills permanent, you have to use them. You have to visit your new building. live in it. How to do it. This is the rule. Within 24 hours of doing step 4, you must actively recall and use the new language. Recall means you pull the information from your memory. The method you use is your choice. You can choose what is best for you, but the action is not optional. It is mandatory. You must do it. Here are some ideas. Talk to yourself. Yes, really. Walk around your room, look in the mirror, and summarize the podcast episode out loud. Try to use 3 to 5 of your new words or phrases from your notebook. Record yourself. Use the voice memo app on your phone. Record a 1-minute message. It can be a summary of the podcast or your opinion about the topic. It might feel strange to listen to your own voice, but it is an amazing feedback tool. You can hear your own pronunciation and fluency. Write it down. Writing is another powerful way to use the language. Write a comment on the podcast's website or social media page, or just write a short journal entry in your notebook. Use your new words. Tell a person. This is the best option if you can do it. If you have a language partner or a tutor, make it your goal to use your new language in your next conversation. Prepare a little before you talk to them. Why it works. This step uses the power of active recall. Active recall is a very famous learning strategy. Science has shown that it is the most effective way to move information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. When you force your brain to find a word or phrase without looking at your notes, you are making the neural pathway to that word stronger. A neural pathway is like a path in the forest. The first time it is hard to walk on, but every time you walk on it, the path gets clearer and wider. Active recall turns a little dirt path in your brain into a paved superhighway. It tells your brain, this information is important. I need to be able to access this quickly. This is the final step. This is the step that turns your knowledge into a usable, automatic, confident skill. This is how you build true fluency. Section 3. Choosing the right materials. Why my podcast is different. So there you have it. The 5-step active learning method, a complete blueprint. A plan to turn any podcast into a powerful fluency building machine. But a blueprint is only as good as the materials you use. An architect needs good bricks and good wood. You need good materials for your language learning too. The internet is full of English podcasts, thousands and thousands of them. But honestly, most of them are not good for this active learning method. They are terrible for it. Why? Well, podcasts made for native speakers are often too difficult. The speakers talk too fast. They mumble their words. They use too much slang and too many cultural references that are hard to understand. It can be very frustrating. On the other hand, many podcasts made for English learners have a different problem. They are just boring. That is exactly why I created this podcast, the VUS Learning English podcast. I designed it from the very beginning to be the perfect material for the 5-step method we just covered. It is made for you. Here's how my podcast is specially engineered for your success. 1. Clear, natural pace. I speak clearly. The pace, the speed of my talking is carefully managed. It is a little slower than a full-speed conversation between native speakers, but it is fast enough to train your ear for real natural English. This pace is perfect for the Parrot Phase, for shadowing. 2. Engaging, useful content. We do not talk about my favorite color here. We discuss interesting topics. Topics that you will actually want to talk about in your own life. Topics like culture, technology, travel, work, and personal development. The vocabulary you learn is high value. It is useful and you can use it immediately in your own conversations. 3. Natural scaffolding. Scaffolding is a support structure used when building a building. In learning, it means giving you support. In my podcasts, I intentionally repeat key vocabulary and phrases. I will use a new word, and then maybe I use it again a few minutes later in a different context. This helps you learn new language naturally without even realizing it. It helps the words stick in your brain. 5. Built-in engagement. I often end my episodes by asking questions directly to you, the listener. Just like I did at the beginning of this episode, this is designed on purpose. It is designed to set you up perfectly for step 5, the Town Crier Phase. It gives you a reason to speak or write. It makes it easier for you to start using the language. So now you have everything. You have a powerful, effective method for learning English. And you have the perfect material, this podcast, designed to work with that method. There are no more excuses. There is only opportunity. My dear friend, we have talked a lot today. You have the knowledge. You have the 5-step system. Now, only one thing matters: action. Your journey to fluency does not start tomorrow. It does not start next week. It starts right now, today. So here is your first assignment, your first mission. Apply this 5-step method to one episode. Do it today. Don't wait. Don't say, I will do it later. Later often becomes never. Do it now while the feeling is strong. 1. Do your curiosity listen. Just get the main idea. 2. Do your detective listen with a notebook. Find your treasures. 3. Choose 1 minute and do your parrot shadowing. Copy my voice. 4. Become the architect. Write your own personal sentences. 5. Finally complete the Town Crier Phase. This is your public action. Come back here to this video and leave a comment below. In your comment, use at least one new word or phrase that you learned from the episode. That's it. That is your first public act of building your house of fluency. I promise you, I will read every single comment. Your words matter to me. And of course, a gentle reminder, if this method gave you a feeling of clarity, if it gave you a feeling of hope, please do me a small favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I release videos just like this one every week with real kind, no-nonsense strategies. Strategies to help you stop being a learner and start being a confident English speaker. For a long time, maybe you have been a passive consumer of English. You have been watching from the side, hoping that one day fluency would just happen to you. Today, that ends. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time. It takes patience. But for the first time, maybe you have a map. You are not just wandering in the forest anymore. You are not lost. You are on a clear path. And you have a blueprint in your hand. That feeling of frustration, that feeling of being stuck, that is in the past now. Let it go. Your new journey starts today. I believe in you. You have everything you need to succeed. You can do this. Now go get to work. Thank you so much for being here with me. It was a pleasure to share this time with you. Keep going. Be kind to yourself, and I will see you next time, my friend.